The rainbow flag, derived from the rainbow, from a religious symbol of a covenant between God and mankind to the symbol of gay pride. If I may take a moment to inform, propose, and share my thoughts on my evolving embrace of a symbol that in the past has made even me uneasy, the rainbow flag. First, a few facts. The rainbow is the optical illusion caused by the refraction, internal reflection, and dispersion of light in water droplets, resulting in a continuous spectrum of light appearing in the sky. The rainbow takes the form of a multicolored circular arc of which I'm sure we all have experience, although most of the time we only get to see half of the circular arc, as the visual illusion is experienced and is dependent on your line of sight or your visual linear perspective. A little bit of history. First mentions of the rainbow show up in the story of the Great Flood, a mythological story found in many traditions, origin stories, and mythology, where a great destruction befalls on earth by a great flood. I won't get into the scientific evidence, as that is another whole intriguing deep dive. The biblical version of the story happens to be the most famous of them all. It recounts how mankind awoke the wrath of God by their corruption and inclination to evil and wrongdoing. Most of us know the story of Noah and his family. At the end of the story, a great flood comes and wipes out mankind from the face of the earth, with the exception of Noah and his family, which is tasked to repopulate the earth. And God gives us the rainbow as a symbol of covenant with mankind, never again to wipe out mankind from the earth. It is one of the oldest memories found and repeated again and again in almost all of the different origin stories of peoples, religions, and folklore. The Great Flood and the rainbow. The rainbow, the promise of better days ahead. The rainbow, a refraction, the bending of light to reveal the spectrum of the different wavelengths that make up white light. Each wavelength interpreted as a different color by our eyes, which are an extension of our brain, allowing us to experience this beautiful masterpiece provided by nature. How fitting that the rainbow was chosen to represent acceptance. After all, it is all the colors of the rainbow that make up white light, and it is essentially one and the same. Reverse engineer a rainbow and you get white light. This refraction of light does not equate to you are different and we will make space for you, but rather this refracted light says you are me and I am you. This is the acceptance that we should strive for, the understanding that we are one and the same. Another important observation is the role of water to make a rainbow possible. It is the water droplets found in the air, usually after it rains, that refract, reflect, and disperse the light into the spectrum of wavelengths that gives us the rainbow. What does water represent? Life. No water, no life. This compels me to think about how nature imitates life, because everything in this world and in this life is made up of patterns and cycles. No rain, no rainbow. What does rain represent? Challenges, troubles, the necessary struggles and pains of life that, like rain, do not last forever, that like rain come and goes, but always leaves us a reminder, a promise, a hope of better days ahead. If only we could learn to sing and dance in the rain, knowing that the storm will endure only for the night, but that joy comes in the morning, just as water brings forth life. This is the promise we give to upcoming generations of youth, the promise of better days ahead, of a more accepting and understanding world. This is what we're striving for. The Stonewall Uprising occurred in 1969, 6 years before I was born, a series of spontaneous protests by members of the gay community in response to police raids, and served as a catalyst for the gay rights movements and led to the creation of various activist groups in the United States and around the world, making space in this world for a person like me. Ain't it cute? Say what you may say about the whole woke movement and the weaponization of trans people, too much, not enough, on the right track or off the rails. All I know is that it was trans brothers and sisters of color, black and Hispanic, that spearheaded this whole fight for equality thing. I honor them, I remember them, and I am proud of them. The rainbow flag. I must be honest and admit that it took me a while to embrace it, as it is the symbol of that one thing which I had spent my whole childhood and youth trying to erase, suppress, ignore, hate, and despise about myself, believing that God must have messed up with me, that I was defective, until I came to the understanding that it was not a mistake, nor was it a punishment, but rather it was something very special that I had been entrusted with, something that in time would become my superpower. Superpowers, as are superheroes, are birthed, molded, and sharpened through painful experiences. I know what it feels to feel rejected and ostracized for something that I did not ask for, did not choose, and have no power to change. The pain of rejection and exclusion can be easily spotted in others, especially if you have experienced it yourself. It is something that in time you can choose to transcend by the way of the superhero, or you can let it consume you the way of the villain. Regardless, it is a pain that you never forget, a pain you do not wish upon anyone, a pain that when you spot it, you are compelled to do what you can to try to ease the pain away. You do this by making whatever space you occupy a safe space where people can be their true self without the fear of judgment. It is a superpower that we all can tap into and that we all should strive to harness as we strive to leave this world a little bit better than it was before we got here. So yes, we wear our rainbow pride loud and proud, but the most authentic way to show off the colors of your rainbow and to reflect what we have endured, survived, and transcended is to be found in how we view and how we treat others. Be kind. Be love. This is my reflection on this Happy Pride weekend. Peace and love. Happy Pride.